I want to talk about this absolutely fantastic book that I found recently. And the book is actually called Gay BCs. And this is apparently quite an old book, but it's only just recently caught my attention because people talking about it on YouTube. It's kind of caught my attention. And I've got to be honest, I was reading this book and I just thought this is some real progressive stuff. And even I was learning stuff when I was reading this book. I mean, it is a very educational book for all ages because, like I say, even I was learning as I was reading it. And I'm 45 and here I am still learning even now. And it's obviously by the title of the book, you might have worked out it's an ABC book with an LGBTQ community twist. So it's a bit appropriate when you think about it because an alphabetic book for the alphabet people. And it's absolutely fantastic and it's so progressive. And there's a lot of books like this now. The Girl with Two Dads is another one. And, there's just a lot of books now coming out, showing children how normal it is or how normal all these things are and showing children that, you know, they are free to do whatever they want. I mean, let me just give you an example of some of the things that this book says. I don't want to read it all out because, to be honest, it's quite long and, but it starts with A is for arrow and ace. Let's say this is what I'm saying. You're already learning because I didn't even know what arrow meant until I read this book. And these are apparently words we use to say that love and attraction may be felt in many ways. Now, to me, ace meant brilliant, like this book. But obviously, this book has got a different meaning for it. The LGBT community have got different meanings that we don't fully understand sometimes. And then you've got B is for boy. You can shout it out loud. I like more than one gender, and that makes me proud. I mean, this is, like I say, absolutely fantastic stuff, to be honest. I mean, but let's just continue anyway. C is for coming out. You're ready to share what you feel deep inside. It's okay to be scared. So this is such a progressive message. And, I know there's some people out there that'll be saying that children shouldn't be, brainwashed with this kind of thing, because children don't obviously understand, especially children that this book is aimed towards, which looking at the book, I would say is probably between the ages of, 3 to 6 or something, I should say, maybe 7 oldest. I mean, it's an alphabet book, so it's obviously children that don't even know the alphabet yet. So it's a, it's a very, it's a very progressive book, and it's a very clever way to teach children and let children have fun, and at the same time teach them about the LGBTQ community, the absolutely fantastic LGBTQ community, which is full of stunning and brave people. I mean, it really is, and this book will probably help create many more. And it goes on to say D is for drag, and then E is for equality, and F is for family, G is for gay, H is for hope, I is for intersex, J is for joy, K is for Kiki. Now, this is what I mean about this book. Again, I never even heard of Kiki before this, so even I'm learning, and I'm in my 40s. But it says K is for Kiki, when friends come together to catch up on news, gossip, and weather. So Kiki is apparently an LGBTQ term to, for gossip and catching up with your friends and all this sort of thing, and having a talk to your friends. So, again, it's very educational. And, some people might say that, can't they teach more important things to children, like maybe even current affairs on the news or, history, teach them history properly. But I disagree completely. I think this is as important as any subject, or, maybe even teach them computer coding or something to do with computers that might benefit them when they're older. But I disagree. Like I say, in my opinion, it's very important that children are taught this about the LGBTQ community, because we need tolerance towards the LGBTQ community and understanding to grow. So we need this to be in the education system. But then it's L is for lesbian. It's love and affection between two special girls who share a connection. So again, that is fantastic. And then it's M is for mountain. Now, I don't know what mountain has really got to do with the LGBTQIA community, to be honest. But it doesn't matter because they probably just couldn't think of anything else for M. I mean, I suppose they could have said M is for map, but that would have probably been a bit too controversial, to be honest. And some of these less progressive people might have found themselves being offended by that. So we'll leave that anyway. So it's then N is for non-binary, and then it says the gender binary does not apply to who you are, how you feel, and how you identify. So this is like, again, some really progressive stuff. Do you know what I mean? This is like really progressive. And then it's O is for orientation, and P is for pan, which obviously doesn't mean pan as in a pan that you cook something in. Obviously not. I mean, it means pansexual. And then Q is for queer, R is for respect, S is for sachet, T is for trans, U is for unique, V is for vogue, W is for wonder, X is for X. I mean, how smart is that? Y is for you, and Z is for zest. So, you know, as you can tell by listening to that, this is some real progressive, this is a really progressive book. And I don't want to hear people criticising this thing, because I'm sick of even people criticising it, saying that you're brainwashing kids and you're teaching them a load of nonsense, and none of this even makes sense, and it shouldn't be in the education system. I mean, to me, I totally disagree with that. That's just intolerant to suggest that this is a very important part of today's society, and children need to learn about it. And obviously, it should take priority, and it's, you know, over, it should take priority over things that are less important, like history, because really, when you think about it, what is history? We can't change history, so there's no point in talking about it now. We might as well just move on. Do you know what I mean? Just move on from history and teach children about this instead, because this is so progressive, and it really is, you know, absolutely marvellous.